thank you for staying. Sorry, we had to leave to vote. I wanted to talk a little bit about how we respond. And Dr. Ahern, in your prepared statement, you indicate the Academy's 2010 report provided options geared to how much money Congress wished to appropriate to buy insurance against an impact. And you described evacuation for small impactors as one approach to mitigation and noted the panel's recommendation that a research program be instituted to better understand mitigation approaches. I represent a district in Oregon that contains coastline, and my constituents on the coast are frequently talking about being prepared, emergency preparedness for tsunamis and earthquakes. And so these are certainly analogous situations. In our prior hearing, NEO hearing, there was a discussion about evacuations in response to a meteor incident. So what would be the nature of the recommended research as it applies to evacuations? I know that when we're talking over in the Oregon coast now, they don't have a lot of time from the time they find out about a tsunami to get upland. So what do you see as the most cost-effective insurance, and can you talk a little bit about preparing for a meteor impact, please?
I think the most important issue is that we don't have a really solid theory of how big a tsunami you will get from a given size impactor. There are simulations that disagree by huge factors on how big a tsunami you will get at various places. So on that specific issue, I think that is the key thing that needs to be done. It depends on the size of the impactor, of course, depends on the velocity it comes in at, the speed, and it depends on the density. Is it really solid or is it mostly porous? But for any given case, even, there are disagreements in the theoretical literature on what the effect will be. So that is the biggest issue. Once you know how big the tsunami will be, then you get a better feeling for how far you have to evacuate to get to high ground. And I am not familiar with how much time is needed in any specific area.
Sure, that's dependent, I think, on the geography. And to all the panel members, how should we approach the policy and legal issues in addressing warning the public? My constituents at home are worried about finding a job and about too many kids in a classroom. So, and on the coast, they're worried about a tsunami. And they went through, after the earthquake in Japan, some emergency preparedness, but there's still a lot to do. So what's the best way for us as policymakers to approach this warning and preparedness, and how should we handle that on national and international levels? What's your advice?
If I could respond, there is an ongoing effort within the United Nations Committee on the Peaceful Uses of Outer Space to address these issues, and one of the key issues, as you noted, is how do we best warn the public, give them the facts without scaring them. So on the international level, within this committee, these discussions are ongoing, and that is one of the issues that is front and center. We don't have a process in place whereby, we're scientists, so we can say, well, we've got an impact probability of such and such, but that's not necessarily the most effective communication with the public. So we have to bring in folks who are more experienced in communications, not just scientists. So I would suggest that perhaps once these discussions are completed in hopefully another year, then some guidance for policy would come out of that.
Dr. Liu, do you have any input on?
Yeah, my opinion is that we should not find out what the impact of a large asteroid is in the ocean, and because we have the technology to prevent that. And we should go out there and find these asteroids, find out if any of them is going to hit us, and deflect it. And I think we can do that.
Thank you. And my time's about to expire. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.